Assalamualaikum and hi, I hope you are having a very good day today. So here I am with my team. I'm going to present you our final lab assignment of ITT300, which is case study 5. But first of all, let me introduce you my team members. Firstly is AMANINA binti MAHMUD. Her student ID is 2019261596. Next is AKMAM binti KHAIRUL SALLEH. Her student ID is 2019273994. Next is NURUL HIDAYAH binti ZAINAL ABIDIN and her student ID is 2019440388. And lastly, UMAIRAH binti MAZLAN and her student ID is 20192577 and 46.
For the role and responsibility, AMANINA binti MAHMUD as our group leader, she has assigned the task to group member, prepare Cisco and edit and share report format. Next, AKMAM binti KHAIRUL, she has prepared Cisco and network research. NURUL HIDAYAH binti ZAINAL ABIDIN has prepared report, prepared slide, presentation and edit presentation video. And me, UMAIRAH binti MAZLAN, has prepared report and prepared slide presentation. Next, move on with introduction of organization and project. There are 4 of us and we cooperated in designing a network and organization based on the customer request and interest. For the organization chart, AMANINA binti MAHMUD as the CEO and director, AKMAM binti KHAIRUL as the network designer, NURUL HIDAYAH binti ZAINAL ABIDIN as the network engineer, and me, UMAIRAH binti MAZLAN as network analyst. For the project description, case study 5. With the tasks that have been given to our team is to design, set up, and configure the wired LAN for a company of Black Roses Sdn Bhd. This is an event company that operates daily with a 2-story company buildings for its employees. Due to improvement and more users towards technology, the company needs to operate efficiently so that they can stay as the main competitor to others' company. The company needs to provide 10 PCs on the first floor and another 10 PCs on the second floor, which is connected via wired. All the PCs are connected to switches via cable. All the switches will be connected to router using wired LAN as outgoing sources. Besides that, this company requests our team to set up their web server regarding their company, which providing flash flowers on their services, event and products. All devices are required to be able to access to their website as default successfully.
Design of network. Physical structure. The physical structure of the project is multi-point. The multi-point connections provide a share link for more than 2 devices. Actual length of the wire or cable are used to connect the workstation to the mainframe. The mainframe is connected to the whole system that are in the Black Roses Sdn Bhd building, which includes 10 PCs for the first floor and 10 PCs for the second floor. Network topology. The topology that we decide to use is the star topology. It is due to the fact that this topology is easy to manage and maintain since each of the nodes required a separate cable. It is also easy to locate if any problem occurs because only a single user will be affected by the cable failure. Transmission media. UTP cable is used for this project. UTP cable stands for Unshielded Twisted Pair Cable. It is a 100 OHM copper cable that consists of 2 to 1800 unshielded twisted pairs surrounded by an outer jacket. They have no metallic shields. This makes the cable small in diameter but unprotected against electrical interference. The tools help to improve its immunity to electrical noise and EMI. Network and connecting device. Number 1 is switch. 296024 TT series switches. We use this switch because of its compact. Black Roses company do not have to worry about the latency of the switches due to it is just as fast Ethernet. Number 2 is cable. RJ45 connector is used because it is easy to plug in and remove with no specialist IT skills required. Number 3 is router. 2911 router. We use this type of router for its functionality. Number 4 is server. Having a stable connection and server are really important for the company to operate smoothly and efficiently, so we have chosen the server WMP300N module for an average performance, so the company can perform their daily routines and work without worrying about any huge hiccup inside the server.
Now I will explain about the design of our network. So in this project, we are required to design a local area network for Black Rose and Berhad. In this network, we use star topology as our design, and as you can see, the device on the first floor will be connected to the switch on the first floor, and the device on the second floor will be connected to the switch on the second floor. The switch on the first and the second floor will be connected to the center switch, and the center switch will be connected to the router. Black Rose and Berhad also asked us to set up their web server. So we use 3 servers, which is DHCP server, DNS server, and web server. All of these devices are connected via wired, and the cable that we use is UTP copper cable. So let's say that the PC on the first floor wants to send message to the PC on the second floor. We will use simulation in this Cisco packet tracer, and we use a simple CPU to send a message. Let's say this PC wants to send message to this PC on the second floor. Let's see, this PC will send message to the switch on the first floor, and it will search for a match. If not found, it will send to the center switch, and it will search for the match. If not found, it will send to the second floor switch and send for the match. And it found the match, and the message will send back to the switch on the second floor and to the center switch, to the switch on the first floor, and send back to the original destination, original sender. So we want to check if this all PCs can access the web server, the web. So we'll search for the web. We will insert the URL that we make, which is www.blackrose.com. So this is the web that we make. So they can see the service, event, and the product. And if they want to know more about us, they can click about us. Also, if they want to contact us to make a purchase, they can contact us.
Now I'll explain to you about the cost of implementation. Network device and cabling. For the first network device that we are using, we chose the model of S391024TS 24-port GB Ethernet L2 plus fully managed Pro switch 24x GB RJ45 with 4x 10GB SFP plus uplink stackable switch Broadcom chip. It costs 2,703 ringgit. So for this project, we need 3 of it. So the total price will be 8,109 ringgit. Then router, we are using Cisco 2911. It costs 2,800 ringgit, and the quantity that we need is only 1. So the total price will be 2,800 ringgit. Lastly is the cable. We chose RJ45, and it costs 10 ringgit per 10 meters. The quantity that we need is 800 meters, so the total price will be 800 ringgit. The total cost for the network device and cabling will be 11,709 ringgit. Next is hardware requirement and specification. What we need is a server, and the server that we chose is Dell Power HT300 tower server. It costs 5,948 ringgit, and the quantity that we need is 3 of it. So the total price will be 17,844 ringgit. Alright, for the total cost for hardware requirement and specification will be 17,844 ringgit. Moving on to the software requirement and specification. So we are using the Google Cloud for software requirement and specification. It costs 1,266 ringgit. So for the total cost of software requirement and specification will be 1,266 ringgit. For the installation and other services, we only need to pay for the installation fee, which is 5,000 ringgit. Alright, the total cost of implementation, which is network devices and cabling, will be 11,709 ringgit. Then hardware, it costs 17,844 ringgit. Then software, it costs 1,266 ringgit. And lastly, the installation and other services, it costs 5,000 ringgit. So the total cost of implementation will be 33,553 ringgit.
As for the strength and weaknesses, let's take a look at strength. As we can see, the first strength is less problem. Less probability of getting attacked by network traffic interruption inside the company itself. This allows the company to have a better secure connection, especially while transferring a classified or important file between the CEO and the employees. Secondly, safety. It is extremely difficult for an unauthorized user to intercept any messages or data that are being transferred inside the company without any physical interaction by an authorized user. Thirdly, first, the wired connection is much faster and have stable connection than the wireless networks due to no interruption by any other signals that are passing through the same space. No issue about getting low and unstable of connection because the connection that do not require for it to penetrate any thick walls that are surrounding the building. And lastly, low risk hacker. And fraud can be avoided because the company can choose the person that they allow to connect their network for much better secure and connection. Next, we look at weaknesses. The first weakness is installation. It depends on the size of infrastructure requirements. Installation can be lengthy and complex as you connect each device to the network, install the routers and switches, and configure security application. Secondly, cost. Wire network require more components and cable. In that case, the cost of the wire network can be more expensive than the wireless one. Thirdly, lack of mobility. Even though the wired connection have less attacks or impair of the signals, the wire connection are inflexible in terms of mobility. In order to use device in a different location, it is necessary to run more cables and switches to connect a device to the network. And lastly, maintenance. If a wire network requires server, the maintenance could be potentially costly. Plus, you will have to compensate an IT professional or a staff of IT professionals to oversee the maintenance and security.
Project recommendation. After analyzing, we found that many weaknesses should be improved. Firstly, we're supposed to change the UTP cable to the MTRJ connector, which is fiber optic cable. This is because the cable has a lot more advantage than the UTP cable. As an example, it has noise resistance, less signal attenuation, and immunity of electromagnetic interference. Secondly, better hardware can be smoother and long-lasting, but it costs a lot. We have to find a way to choose an affordable device where the specs are better in terms of CPU and GPU. Lastly, we should invest for a better router and increase accessibility in future. That's all from us. Thank you very much.